Hello, my name is Tim, my company is Sports and Touring, and we are Jaguar F-Type specialists. Jaguar made the F-Type in a surprisingly broad range of colours. Black and white, of course, silver, a variety of greys, and then the brighter shades, green, the reds, orange, and of course, a selection of blue paints, including this one, ultra blue. It's a bright, light and vivid shade which attracts positive energy wherever it goes, and I'm delighted to have another beautiful ultra blue F-Type to show you. This is a P340, so a V6, the sweet spot of the engine range. It's a low mileage example in fabulous condition, and I am very excited indeed to show you around. There is the Growler, Jaguar's badge, which has graced the front of so many fine sports cars over the years, and alongside it the R-Dynamic badge, which tells you that this is a facelift car. Along with the badge there, the facelift headlamps and the single chin vents also point out that this is one of the revised design of the F-Type. This car sitting on the black design pack, so we have the front and rear splitter and the side skirts in gloss black, and the black pack also includes, of course, the power vents and window surrounds in that shade. The wheels match as well, gloss black Cyclone alloys, the beautiful 5 twin-spoke design. They are in perfect order, very recently refurbished, and wearing Pirelli P0 tyres, as specified by Jaguar. But Jaguar made many different wheel designs for the F-Type, and being specialists, we keep a number of sets of wheels in stock, so we can chat to you about other alternatives if you wish to do so. And then another, perhaps the most eye-catching feature of this particular car is the fixed aerodynamic spoiler, that beautiful wing at the back that sits at the back end of the tailgate, and not only adds helpful downforce to aid grip at speed, but also a very striking aesthetic to the rear end of this car. You can see, by the way, the paintwork is in very, very fine order. It's bright and deep and lustrous. This car hasn't been through one of those horrible mechanical car washes. It has clearly been carefully and diligently maintained. And that is true not only here on the outside, but on the inside too. On which note, let's take a look in the cockpit. We'll supply this F-Type, of course, with 2 remote key fobs and the owner's book pack, and pressing unlock, you can see the door handle pop out, and the courtesy light illuminate as well. That lights up the curb beside the car while you're getting in and out in the dark, and is a very handy little feature. Opening the door, and we can look into this beautiful cockpit. Starting our inspection perhaps with the door card, which is in very fine order indeed, finished in jet, of course. We can see the badge for the Meridian sound system and the controls for the fully electric seats. So fore and aft, up and down and recline, all electric on this particular F-Type. And then panning round, there are the seats, the Jaguar Sport seats finished in jet suede cloth and leather. And the benefit of the suede cloth, of course, is that in hot weather in the summer, you aren't going to be running into that issue with sitting down into a hot leather seat and feeling the clothes pressed against your back and starting to feel a little bit too warm. The suede cloth takes care of all that. And then we sit down, and this is such a beautiful place to be. It's, as I always point out at this stage in our videos, it's a mix of art and science. The technology is fantastic. The ergonomics are particularly brilliantly done. And then the design of the F-Type cockpit is so pleasing to the eye and also to the touch. The way that the F-Type feels, the way your hand falls on the shift stick, for example, all adds to the pleasure of ownership. Okay, panning around, and you'll see that we've got the armrest there with a handy stowage underneath it. In there as well, we've got a 12-volt supply, 2 USB sockets, and the micro SIM card slot for communications. Forward from that, and there are the twin cup holders. And then to explore further, we will fire up the supercharged V6. This car has a ghost immobiliser fitted to it, so I'm not going to show you the sequence of actions in order to start the engine, but we begin by pressing the start button, like so, to switch on the electrics, and then carry out the sequence of actions on the controls to activate the ghost and enable it to start the car. And there we are. The engine is running. The instrument binnacle has done its little self-test flying display. The revs are settled down at a higher figure than usual, of course, because the catalytic converter is being protected by that additional fuel flow as it warms up. And the infotainment panel comes to light, and we can then switch on the climate control, and we'll see the centre air vent there beautifully rise up into position. Okay, back down here, and you'll see that we've got the Eco Stop Start Defeat switch. That turns off the stop start feature. Many people prefer to drive with that switched off. We've got the traction control off button and the button for the switched active sports exhaust. Those valves underneath the car which open up and give you a throatier, louder and more engaging exhaust note when you so desire. Electronic parking brake, of course, with hill start assist. And forward from there, we've got the on-off and volume control for the infotainment, and then the shift stick. A trigger on the front there, which you use to activate the shift stick, and then you can put the car into drive and sideways across into sports gearbox mode. And in sports gearbox mode, you can shift up and down using the shift stick itself. I prefer to use the flappy paddles on the steering column, on the steering wheel, because then I'm in complete control of the car while I'm manoeuvring and changing gear. But you may like, for old time's sake, to reach down and change there with your left hand like so. Next to that, we've got the driving mode selector switch. At the moment, we're in standard driving mode, or what I tend to call vanilla. And from here, we go forward into rain, ice and snow mode, which calms this rear-wheel drive car down considerably. Particularly, it softens the throttle map and makes it much less likely that you spin the wheels in slippery, icy, snowy conditions. Okay, we come back into standard driving mode, and from there into dynamic driving mode, and you will see there on the instrument binnacle, dynamic driving mode confirmed, and the flag illuminates as well in the center of the instrument cluster there, telling you you're in dynamic mode, and the backlighting turns red as well, to remind you that this is the full-on tutti frutti mode of the F-Type. And that means that throttle response, steering and gear shifting all sharpened up for a more engaging driving experience. Okay, back over to the center console. We'll come out of dynamic mode and put the car into park, in fact, like so, and we'll take a look at the climate control section. So we set the temperature for the occupants on the dials here. We've got auto climate, air conditioning, timed recirculation, very useful for warming the car up and cooling it down at extremes of temperature. And then another of the extra cost options is this electrically heated front windscreen. So those tiny little wire elements running through the glass which heat up the windscreen so effectively in cold conditions. And of course, front and rear demist in the normal way. And then, as you would wish, heated seats, of course, 3-stage electrically heated for driver and passenger. An absolutely wonderful thing in cold weather to have the seat heated like that. It makes it so much more comfortable, and it warms up really quickly as well as you set off. Up here to the infotainment screen, and it is the larger 10-inch post-facelift display. Here we're on the home page. We can go left to My Home, and this is the page where you customize with the shortcut keys or the hotkeys that you particularly want. So, for example, play your favorite radio station or set up the sat-nav to take you home or to the office. Back to the home page where we have the media screen, and sources available here are radio, DAB, AM and FM radio, and Bluetooth audio as well, so that you can play Spotify or BBC Sounds or whatever it is that you prefer. Back to the home screen, and there is the Bluetooth telephony option. Crisp and clear, easy to use. There's a button on the steering wheel, which I'll show you in a moment. So hands-free telephony, very, very easy in the F-Type. Then the climate screen, where we can adjust the airflow in particular directions around the cockpit. And from there back to the home screen again and to the satellite navigation. At the moment, no account is signed in on the car. Sorry, it does appear quite bright in the video, of course. The brightness of the screen upsets the camera. But when the car is purchased, the new owner can associate themselves through the Jaguar in control system, and then you'll be able to sign in and use all of the features. You can in fact use the features anyway, there's no need to be signed in. A beautiful crisp and clear display. Again, it shows very bright on the camera, but as I look at it here, it's a very clear and large display. The instructions are easy to follow. I get very good feedback from people who do use the built-in sat-nav. And then we go over to the extra features page, where you can see that we've got the option for in-control apps should you desire, and Bluetooth and valet mode and so forth. All very easy to use, very engaging, lovely clear display, and again the sound system, being Meridian sound, is particularly good on this car. And we have, of course, by the way, reversing camera, very clear with those guidance lines which tell you where the car is going to go, and we have the park distance sensors as well to assist you in getting in and out of those parking bays. Okay, across the steering wheel, and you can see on the left thumb cluster here we've got the infotainment controls and the Bluetooth telephony button. On the left hand stalk we've got the automatic headlamps. On the right hand thumb pad we've got the cruise control and active speed limiter, and on the right hand stalk there the rain sensitive wipers. And then if you look down here on this little panel just by my right knee, you can see we've got the boot release and the lane departure warning switch, along with the rear fog light and the dimmer for the instrument binnacle. So beautifully laid out cockpit, and a lovely place to be as well, I dare say. And again, you can see it's all in very good order. It's been diligently maintained, cleaned. There are no stains, marks, blemishes anywhere around the cockpit to catch the eye. Okay, we'll switch off the engine and take a look in the boot. You can open the boot either with the button just below the Leaper logo there, or using the remote key fob. And lifting the tailgate up, you can see a surprisingly large space for a two-seat sports car. Over 300 litres, in fact. And although it's a slightly unusual shape, so you need to pack soft-sided bags, or you could even treat yourself to a bespoke luggage set designed to fit the F-type boot, there is plenty of room for all of your holiday packing or your sports gear. You can get a set of golf clubs in very easily, and so forth. And then under the boot floor here, we've got a handy cubby hole for you perhaps to store your motoring bits and pieces. And again, you can see everything is in very fine order. I can report that there are no unpleasant odours, there are no stains, no marks, no blemishes there to indicate that this car hasn't been other than very carefully looked after. We'll close the boots and come round to the passenger side of the car, and we have two-stage unlocking enabled. This is a security feature, so I need to press the key fob a second time, and then we can open the door and take a look at this door card, which I dare say is as it left the factory. It is perfect. There are no marks on it at all. Likewise, the tread plate there, and then the dashboard, centre console, carpet and mat, and this beautiful suede cloth seat, all in very, very fine condition. Next, we'll take a look under the bonnet. So there, under the cover is the supercharger, under which is the 3-litre V6 engine producing 335 horsepower or 340 PS, and driving this F-Type through the fabulously good 8-speed ZF gearbox to a top speed of 161 miles per hour, and the first 0 to 60 of that, by the way, takes only 5.1 seconds. But the point, again, that I always make is that, impressive as those figures are, they are not the full story. The F-Type is about the engagement that you feel with your car as the driver, and the connection that Jaguar have created between your hands and your feet and your car and your journey and your progress. That is the essence of F-Type driving and F-Type ownership. Again, you can see under the bonnet here, everything is in very fine order, crisp and clean. Excellent service history with this F-Type. It has clearly been maintained very well. It's passed all of our inspections and tests without any problems, and it drives sensationally. It is waiting, of course, to delight its next keeper. So thank you very much indeed for watching. It's been a huge pleasure to show you this beautiful F-Type. We're Sports and Touring. We're just outside Andover in Hampshire, open 7 days a week by appointment only. You're very welcome to telephone, email or WhatsApp us if you've got any questions about the car, or if you'd like to arrange a viewing in person or by video call. It'll be a pleasure to send you a link to our Google Drive online folder with higher resolution copies of the photographs, which you can zoom in on, and PDF copies of important documents about the car. If you've got a vehicle to dispose of on your buying journey, we'll give you frank and honest advice about the best way to achieve the maximum value with the minimum inconvenience. And if you'd like to chat about finance, we can do that as well. We're authorised and regulated by the FCA, and we work with a really brilliant broker. Do please take a few moments to read our reviews in Auto Trader. I'm very proud indeed of the things that our previous customers say about us. And I'll close by saying thank you again. Feel free to like and subscribe to us here on YouTube, and we will look forward to hearing from you very soon. Contact details are coming next.